Good evening, everybody. I cried when they shot John Lennon. Tears ran down my spine. And I cried when they killed Mr. Kennedy, as though I lost a father of mine. But Mumia got what was coming. He got what he asked for this time. So love me, love me, love me, I'm a liberal. I vote for the Democratic Party. They want the UN to be strong. I attend all the Bruce Springsteen concerts. He sure gets me singing those songs. And I'll send all the money you ask for, but don't ask me to come out along. So love me, love me, love me, I'm a liberal. I go to pro-choice rallies, recycle my cans and jars. I urge you to take public transit, but for now I'll stick with my car. Now don't talk about revolution, that's going a little bit too far. So love me, love me, love me, I'm a liberal. I read New Republic and Nation, Rolling Stone and Mother Jones too. And I vote it's a Democrat with a sensible economy view. But when it comes to torturing Arabs, there's no one more red, white, and blue. So love me, love me, love me, I'm a liberal. I cheered when Obama was chosen, my faith in the system restored. Who cares if he broke all his promises? We're much better off than before. It'll be just like back under Clinton, if we can just keep ignoring the war. So love me, love me, love me, I'm a liberal. Sure, once I was young and impulsive, I wore every conceivable pin. Even went to socialist meetings, learned all the old wobbly hymns. But now I've grown older and wiser, and that's why I'm turning you in. So love me, love me, love me, I'm a liberal. So love me, love me, love me, I'm a liberal. So love me, love me, love me, I'm a liberal, through and through. Remember, nobody paid to get in here, so I don't want to hear any complaints about the next 10 or 12 minutes. This next song was the very first Phil Ochs song I ever heard over 10 years ago when I was a naive kid growing up in South County. It helps to use your imagination while listening to it. You have to imagine a mansion full of wealthy and privileged people as they're being hunted down and chased down, as it were, by large numbers of ordinary people who've just taken part in a great upheaval. They're in the process of finishing what they've started. This is called the Ringing of Revolution. In a building of gold with riches untold of the families on which the country was founded, and the merchants of style with vain velvet smiles were there, for they also were hounded. And the soft middle class crowded in to the last, but the building was fully surrounded. And the noise outside was the ringing of revolution. Sadly they stared and sank in their chairs and searched for a comforting notion. And the rich silver walls looked ready to fall as they shook in doubtful devotion. And the ice cubes would clink as they freshened their drinks, wet their minds in bitter emotion. And they talked about the ringing of revolution. We were hardly aware of the hardships you bear, for our time was taken with treasure. Oh, life was a game and work was a shame, and pain was prevented by pleasure. The world cold and gray was so far away, in a distance only money could measure. But their thoughts were broken by the ringing of revolution. Clouds filled the room in a darkening doom as the crooked smoke rings were rising. How long will it take? How can we escape? Someone asks, but no one's advising. And the quivering floor responds to the roar in a shape no longer surprising. As closer and closer come the ringing of revolution. Softly they moan, please leave us alone, as back and forth they are pacing. And they cover their ears and try not to hear, with pillows of silk they're embracing. But the cackling crowd is laughing out loud, peeking in at the target they're chasing. Now trembling inside the ringing of revolution. With compromise sway, we gave it half away when we saw that rebellion was growing. Now everything's lost as they kneel by the cross, where the blood of Christ is still flowing. Too late for their sorrow, they've reached their tomorrow and reaped the seed they were sowing. Now harvested by the ringing of revolution. In tattered tuxedos they face the new heroes and crawl about in confusion. And they sheepishly grin, for their memories are dim of the decades of dark execution. Hollow hands raised, they stood there amazed in the shattering of their illusion. And their windows were smashed by the ringing of revolution. Down on our knees, we're begging you, please. We're sorry for the way you were driven. There's no need to taunt, just take what you want, and we'll make amends if we're living. But away from the grounds, the flames told the town that only the dead are forgiven. And they crumbled inside the ringing of revolution. They vanished inside the ringing of revolution. All right, you have one more song to suffer through, and then I forget who's next, but somebody's next. It's a historical song. You have to, well, you don't have to use your imagination for this one. I fucked it up, but it's based on a chapter in a very long book called U.S. Interventions in the Third World. It could easily be called The Marines Have Landed in Kabul or Baghdad, but it's called The Marines Have Landed on the Shores of Santo Domingo. The crabs are crazy, they scuttle back and forth, the sand is burning. The fish take flight and scatter from the side, their course is turning. The seagulls rest on the cold cannon nest, the sea is churning. The Marines have landed on the shore of Santo Domingo. The fishermen sweat and pause at the net. The days are burning. The warships sway and thunder in the bay so loud the morning. But the boy on the shore, throwing pebbles no more, he runs a warning that the Marines have landed on the shore of Santo Domingo. The streets are still, there's silence in the hill, the town is sleeping. The farmers yawn in the gray silver dawn, the fields they're keeping. As the first troops land and step into the sand, the flag is weeping, 'cause the Marines have landed on the shore of Santo Domingo. The unsmiling sun is shining down upon the singing soldiers. In the cloud dust world, they whistle at the girls, they're getting bolder. The old women sigh, think of memories gone by, they shrug their shoulders. The Marines have landed on the shore of Santo Domingo. Ready for the tricks, their bayonets are fixed, now they are rolling. The tanks make tracks past the trembling shacks where fear's unfolding. All the young wives afraid turn their backs to the parade with babes they're holding. The Marines have landed on the shore of Santo Domingo. A bullet cracks the sound, a soldier's hit the ground, the sniper's howling. So they open up their guns, 1,000 to 1, no sense in stalling. He clutches at his head and totters on the edge, look how he's falling. The Marines have landed on the shore of Santo Domingo. In the Red Plaza Square, the crowds come to stare, the heat is leaning. And the eyes of the dead are turning every head to the widows screaming. The soldiers make a bid, giving candy to the kids, their teeth are gleaming. The Marines have landed on the shore of Santo Domingo. Up and down the road, the generals drink a toast, the war wheel spinning. And the cowards and the whores are peeking through the doors to see who's winning. The traitors will pretend that it's getting near the end when it's beginning. The Marines have landed on the shore of Santo Domingo. The Marines have landed on the shore of Santo Domingo.